Hi, Yeladim. Happy Passover. Are you enjoying Passover so far? Well, I have a friend with me who's having a great time this year for the holiday. Do you know who that is?
Hi, everybody. It's me, Matzah. Ho, ho, ho.
Matzah would like for me to read to you a book about matzah. So I found a book, and it's called The Matzah Man. And if you know the story about the Gingerbread Man, this book might sound kind of familiar to you. But this is a special Gingerbread Man just for Passover. Are you ready for it? Okay, me too. The Matzah Man with sticky pages. Inside Mr. Cohen's bakery, the racks were filled with Passover matzah. Ooh, look at all that matzah drying on his racks. See how he's making it from scratch? The baker rolled out his last scraps of dough. He added a bit here and a pinch there and shaped a little man. He pricked the dough all over, popped it in the oven, and closed the door. And if you know the story of the Gingerbread Man, I think you know what will happen. Mr. Cohen was busy cleaning up when suddenly he smelled the matzah, almost burning. He hurried to the oven and opened the door, but the minute he did, that piece of matzah jumped out and said, "Hot from the oven, I jumped and ran, so clever and quick, I'm the Matzah Man." And off that little rascal ran, around the sacks of flour, between the legs of the baker, and right out the door. "Stop, Matzah Man!" cried Mr. Cohen, and he began to chase the little Matzah Man. Through the village they raced. A red hen spied the little Matzah Man, crisp and crackly, running by. The Matzah Man said, "Hot from the oven, I jumped and ran, so clever and quick, I'm the Matzah Man." "Stop, Matzah Man!" clucked the red hen. "You would make a tasty treat for my new chicks. The little Matzah Man looked at the red hen, stuck his nose in the air, and said, "I've run from the baker whose matzah is best, and canoodle canoodle canoe, I'll run away from you too." And he went pell-mell over the fence. Cousin Tilly was sampling her tender Passover brisket when the toasty little Matzah Man rushed past her door. The Matzah Man teased her, saying, "Hot from the oven, I jumped and ran, so clever and quick, I'm the Matzah Man." "Stop, Matzah Man!" called Cousin Tilly. "You'd be the perfect mouthful with my delicious brisket." You think the Matzah Man's going to stop? No. The little Matzah Man wagged his finger at Cousin Tilly and said, "I've run from the baker whose matzah is best, and from the little red hen who left eggs in her nest, and canoodle canoodle canoe, I'll run away from you too." And that little scamp raced off down the road. Auntie Bertha was out shopping in her brand new shoes. She saw the crunchy Matzah Man running right toward her. The Matzah Man said, "Hot from the oven, I jumped and ran, so clever and quick, I'm the Matzah Man."
"Oh, please stop, Matzah Man," cooed Auntie Bertha. "You would look just adorable on the Passover table."
Do you think he's going to stop?
Nope.
The little Matzah Man made a rude face at Auntie Bertha and boasted, "I've run away from the baker whose matzah is best, and from the red hen who left eggs in her nest, from old Cousin Tilly with brisket-filled pan, and canoodle canoodle canoe, I'll run away from you too." And he scooted around the corner. Where is he? Do you see him? He's very hard to spot. There he is, right there. He ran around the corner. Is anybody going to catch him? Let's see. Grandpa Solly was chopping onions for his special Passover gefilte fish. The onions were making him cry, but he could still see the Matzah Man through his tears. The Matzah Man said, "Hot from the oven, I jumped and ran, so clever and quick, I'm the Matzah Man."
"Stop, Matzah man," cried Grandpa Solly. "You'd be a delectable nosh with this gefilte fish."
The little matzah man put his hands on his hips and bragged, "I've run from the baker whose matzah is best, and from the red hen who left eggs in her nest, from old Cousin Tilly with brisket-filled pan, and big Auntie Bertha in high heels she ran, and canoodle, canoodle, canoe, I'll run away from you too." And he sped across the bridge. Oh, and look, everybody's chasing him. There's the baker and the aunt and there's the red hen and Grandpa Solly. They're all chasing him. Miss Axelrod was dropping the last matzo ball into her chicken soup when the browned little matzo man ran past. He shouted, "Hot from the oven, I jumped and ran, so clever and quick, I'm the matzo man." The little matzo man had such chutzpah. He said, "I've run away from the baker whose matzah is best, and the little red hen who left eggs in her nest, from old Cousin Tilly with brisket-filled pan, and big Auntie Bertha in high heels she ran. Then Grandpapa Solly from onions he's crying, and canoodle, canoodle, canoe, I'll run away from you too." And zippity-zip, away he went. Oh my goodness, lots of people are chasing him now. A gray goat was pulling tender young radishes out of the garden when he noticed the tasty little matzo man. The matzo man stamped his foot and said proudly, "Hot from the oven, I jumped and ran, so clever and quick, I'm the matzo man." "Meh, stop, matzo man," bleated the goat. "I would like to have a bite of you." The little matzo man laughed and said, "I've run from the baker whose matzah is best, and the little red hen who left eggs in her nest, from old Cousin Tilly with brisket-filled pan, and big Auntie Bertha in high heels she ran. Then Grandpapa Solly from onions he's crying, then from Miss Axelrod matzo balls flying, and canoodle, canoodle, canoe, I'll run away from you too." And he hurried past the goat. Phew. Just at that moment, young Mendel Fox came to the door of his house. What a commotion! Look at all these people chasing after the matzo man. And here is a little boy. He's coming to his door. His name is Mendel Fox. His last name is Fox. That might mean something to those of you who know the Gingerbread Man story. Remember what the fox did? Here's a little boy whose last name is Fox. Mendel saw the little matzo man running down the road, chased by the gray goat, Miss Axelrod, Grandpapa Solly, Auntie Bertha, Cousin Tilly, the red hen, and Mr. Cohen, the baker. The matzo man looked back over his shoulder and panted, "Hot from the oven, I jumped and ran, so clever and quick, I'm the matzo man." "Stop, matzo man," Mendel said. "I'll help you. Hide behind me." The matzo man flattened himself behind Mendel. Ooh. It looks like Mendel, his house is all ready for a Seder. I see all the plates and the haggadahs on the table. There's candles, and there's a matzah cover, and here's a Seder plate. And the matzo man has come right to his door. Can you predict what's going to happen? Let's see. "They're getting closer," Mendel shouted. "Hurry, get behind the cushion." The matzo man covered himself with the pillow. "I can still see you," cried Mendel. "They're coming up the steps. Quick, hide here." The matzo man jumped up on the table and slid beneath the matzah cover. And that's what it says in Hebrew on here, matzah. Is that a safe place for the matzo man to hide? Mr. Cohen looked around. "Did you see a little piece of matzah run this way?" he asked. Mendel shrugged. Miss Axelrod peeked under the table. The red hen picked up the cushion on Grandpapa Solly's chair. No one could find the matzah man, so one by one the tired guests plopped down into their seats. "Let's begin the Seder," said Mendel. He handed his grandfather the plate of matzah. Grandpapa Solly reached under the matzah cover. Snap!
The matzah was broken. Do you remember who was hiding under there? That's right. It was the matzah man.
The plate was passed around the table. Tasty matzah, said the gray goat between bites. Now the horseradish was making Grandpapa Solly cry. He nibbled a piece of matzah.
So crunchy and delicious, he said through his tears.
The best matzah we ever ate, agreed Cousin Tilly, Auntie Bertha, and Miss Axelrod. The red hen pecked at the matzah. Crick, 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 crispy, pop! Mr. Cohen smiled. Everybody ate a piece of matzah except Mendel Fox. He had 2 pieces, and that was the end of the matzah man. It looks like everybody gets a piece. Yum, yum, yum. So tasty. The end. So tell me, Matzah Mensch, what did you think of that story? No, you didn't like it? How come? Oh, you didn't like that the matzah man got eaten at the end? Yeah, I can understand that. That's what happens to the gingerbread man too, right? But that's what gingerbread men are for, and that is what matzah is for. It's for eating. But don't worry, Matzah Mensch, I won't eat you. Okay, hope you like the story. Bye-bye.